And there you have it. A Day Late and a Dollar Short by King Conquer off of their album 1776. So, Derick Caperton, welcome to Liberty Under Attack Radio, sir. Do we have you on the line?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, not too much. How's it going, man?
Oh, not too much, man. Just sitting here drinking a beer in the studio with my other band, Worm, right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm having a beer with you, so cheers.
Nice.
So let me just say first, we'll start with King Conquer, and then we'll get to into Worm, right?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, so we'll get to that afterwards. So let me just say first that King Conquer's album 1776 was truly fantastic. It was honestly one of the best albums I've ever listened to, and I still jam it pretty frequently.
Oh, man, I appreciate that.
Not a problem. So who's in King Conquer?
Right now, King Conquer is currently, it's myself, James Mislow on vocals, Chris Whited on drums, Added Whited on bass, who obviously they're brothers. They were the two founders of the band. And then Jesse Kirkbride is our second guitarist as of right now.
Very nice. So let's talk about 1776. Tell us about the process of writing the music and the lyrics for that album.
It was definitely a album that we had a lot of thought put into, and all the lyric content was mainly our vocalist James Mislow, and at the time our old guitarist John Bird, who has left the band. And those two together, just basically, they were getting really heated at the time about just all issues going on in the world, and they decided they were going to make the whole entire album focused on it. Where normally we kind of made our issues a little switched up in the songs, and this album ended up just being full force political album, and it ended up exactly how we wanted it to, though. So, it turned out great. They did very well, and the rest of the band had a little bit of input on the vocals and stuff, but it was definitely, have to hand it to them on all that.
Gotcha. Very nice. And you just answered the next question. So I'm curious when I guess when any bands in general, but I'm a metalhead. So when metal bands come out with albums like this, or songs in general, like when Straight from the Path released Badge and a Bullet, if you look at those comments section, it gets pretty heated there. So I was kind of curious, what was the response to that album, both musically and content wise?
I'd say musically, it was pretty great across the board. Just as people that I see as our fans, I don't really look too much outside of that. So I'm sure there's people that disliked it, but that's with any type of music out there. So, but yeah, from everything I've seen, it was amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And then, honestly, with the content, it was seriously way better than we thought. We thought we were going to get our heads put on a stake because of half of it, but it seemed like most of our fans were seriously on the same page, and it was really cool to see, so just one of those things where we didn't get as much heat as some people would for doing it, I guess,
Yeah, that's definitely true. So what are the plans for King Conquer in the future? You guys releasing a new album soon?
Yeah, we've been taking it slow the last year and a half. We had like I said, with that guitar player I mentioned earlier, that he had a lot of hand in writing 1776, actually. Ever since we had a falling out with him, we just been taking it easy, kind of, getting everything back together. And we did a small tour last year just to, show everybody, hey, we're back. And now we've been writing a lot. We've all got other endeavors. Our other guitar player plays in a band called Dealey Plaza. And then our drummer Chris, he actually drums full-time in a cover band down in Florida, and that's his full-time job. So, we're getting all that settled right now, getting everything back how we need to get it, getting our flow back together, and we're about to try to, after we get this EP we're recording, we're going to get back on the road and start trying to at least do a run or two a year, and get back out there, and we're going to definitely start doing more albums. We're really pushing for an album a year, but it's pretty unrealistic, so I'd honestly say more about an album every 2 years, So
yeah. Okay, gotcha. I'm curious, like with the content of 1776, and you guys are signed to Media Scare, right?
Yeah. Well, right now we decided to go independent. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was another big change the last year and a half or so. So that's another reason why we just been kind of recapping. We got to get the funds together ourselves. Now we're just doing everything as DIY as possible, and so we love it though. Last tour we did was basically completely DIY, and it was one of the best tours we've ever done. So it's awesome.
Okay, very good. So, but you released 1776 with Media Scare, right?
Yep, correct.
What was their response to the lyrical content?
Honestly, I mean, they didn't really ever seem to have anything against it or anything. They honestly didn't have too much to say about the lyrical content at all, to be honest. They liked the album, I know that for a fact, but I never heard too many comments about it. So I think they're obviously pretty gung ho on it. So
Gotcha. So from the bands that I know that are on Media Scare, I really haven't heard. With some other labels, you'll hear about some shenanigans and such. But with Media Scare, I really haven't heard. I haven't really heard much. Why did you guys decide to go independent?
mainly just because one, we're just tired of giving our money to somebody else. I mean, that's just I would say any band's reason for leaving a label. And then two, I think we felt we were paying in more than the help we were getting, if that makes sense. And I mean, not to even really bash the label or anything. And I think that was just our circumstances, you know. And it's just we felt we could do better on our own. And so I mean, I think if any musician feels they can do better than being with the label, then definitely go that route. Because I mean, why are you going to go pay somebody if you think you can do it a little bit better yourself? You know, it's not that I think they just had other endeavors going on that they weren't focused so much on some of their other bands. You know, so just one of those things.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, obviously, and with all of the technology now, and like with the accessibility, and obviously music recording and things of that nature, it definitely gives a lot more bands the opportunity to go independent and do it
Exactly.
a lot more cost efficiently than it was before, when you pretty much had to go through a label and had to pay a major studio and such. So, okay,
Exactly.
awesome. So you mentioned John Bird. I'm sure you're sick of hearing about this, but or sick of discussing it. But can you tell us what kind of transpired there?
Really, all that happened was we had kind of falling out after one of our tours, and after that happened, he was still in the band. It was just like one of those things where everybody was not talking for about a month or so, and we just all were kind of just like letting it all boil over is what we thought, hopefully. And then John, we noticed on our Facebook page. I mean, we're all admins on there. We noticed things are starting to get sold on our Facebook page and his merch and such. And I mean, this band's been around for so long. I mean, this band's was around, I think, 7 years almost before I joined the band. So I mean, this band's been around for a long time, and so we just figured John had a lot of built-up merch from over the years that he was selling. You know, we didn't even bat a lash at it, and then I'm come to find out he was just ripping off our fans and didn't have any merch to sell, and assuming for a drug habit, you know, and it just blew up after that. We were like, this is fucked, you know, and so basically, sorry for the language, but and then me and some of our other guys got together with a really awesome fan of ours named Nathan. He helped us out, set up a fundraiser to kind of help pay some of the people back, and it was just really crappy situation that he put us in, you know. So I mean, it was just one of those things. It's like no matter what you do after that, I mean, it's not going to be ties aren't going to be crossed at that point, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys did try to pay back the fans as much as you could. So I definitely respect you guys for that. I
yeah, we
definitely do.
appreciate it. We obviously wish we could have done as much as we could have, but it's just one of those things where it was just so many people and stuff. So we just tried to get as many people back with an album and just whatever we could get them and stuff, you know. So we felt good we could get them something, but it's still one of those things where every time we think about it, it gives us a heavy heart, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Yeah, definitely not a good situation, but it seems like the market reacted, the fans, and it seems like things are still going good. So that's definitely good to see. So
Exactly, it was way better reaction than we could have ever hoped.
yeah. Okay. So the new album for King Conquer, can you give us a sneak peek as to what we can expect? Like, what's the lyrical content going to be? Is the style going to be the same as 1776? So what can we expect?
Musically, I would say it's gonna be evolved quite a bit. We're all just trying to go a route that is something that we kind of liked when we were like younger. You know, we're all trying to like pull from things that got us into these genres in the first place, and we've all got our own little ideas and takes on it. But from the things that we've been throwing together so far, it's coming along great, and I mean we're loving the outcome. It's definitely a little bit different, but I'd say it's still King Conquer 100%. And but it's gonna be just, I mean, heavy, really heavy, really dark. I would say it's gonna be a little bit darker than 1776 was. It's gonna be a little more evil sounding. And then along with the lyrical content as well, it's gonna be some of the songs are gonna be more about like death and a little bit more about just darker and deeper, more poetic lyrics on some of the songs. And then we're obviously gonna have some songs just like 1776 that are a lot more political based, and James is gonna shine in on those because he's just been really adamant on keeping that alive, which is something that we're all adamant on too. So it's awesome. He kind of pushes us towards keeping our lyrical content, based on just occurring events and things like that. So it's just really great that he pushes us to stay aware. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Well, that's definitely good. That's definitely good. And yeah, obviously you're on Liberty Under Attack Radio, so that's what we focus on here every Sunday. So, what bands influence your music? Because you mentioned that, and I'm curious as to what bands have the most impact on your style of music.
Oh yeah, I would say for me, I mean, honestly, just is all the I guess you would call them early deathcore bands is some of the ones that I like just early All Shall Perish, things like that. Early Job for a Cowboy, bands like that. We're all just going back to like really our roots when we were young, early teens and stuff like that, and just trying to kind of pull from that and feel like some of the mainly just it's just the melodies and the darkness of it, not so much the exact rhythms and stuff. I mean, we're not going to go back to be like an old metalcore band from 2003. It's just we're kind of taking from that and pulling from what we loved and making it our own. And I think it's just bands exactly like that. I mean, I think that era of music, and we're all kind of similar. Where Adam and Chris are pulling a little bit older, more like Poison the Well-esque and Deftones and stuff like that too. So I mean, there's a lot of big influence mixed in the mix. It's going to be definitely a lot different. I mean, it's really, really different, but it's going to be King Conquer. It's so hard to explain, but I think people will like it.
Yeah, I definitely understand. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear. Like I had Tom. I actually a band called I'm from the Government. I'm from the Government. I'm here to help. They're out of New York, I think. And it's always interesting to kind of hear the lyric, like the musical influences, and then kind of see what that turns into, because usually it's a really neat product.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So, and King Conquer released a single recently, right?
Yeah, we did.
A single and the music video.
Yep.
It's called Coma, right?
It's called a Deathbed.
Deathbed. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Wow, I feel.
Oh, you're good, man.
So tell us about that song and the process of filming that music video.
That song is just a song we started writing on. It's one of the first ones that's kind of showing some of the newer influence and stuff. And it's a push in the direction we're going. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the fully evolved version yet, but it's definitely highlighting some of the direction we're going towards. But it's mainly just about accepting death without needing anything else than yourself, just like being strong enough to accept death on your own. That's literally the whole premise of the song. It's a pretty simple song lyric wise, and it's pretty simple song honestly musically, but it's just we wanted a hard hitting song, get the point across and show people we're still alive and that we're definitely going to be putting out music soon. And it's just one of those songs we just wanted to put out that was catchy and hard hitting. So
all right, very good, very good. So any other thoughts, anything else you want to mention about King Kong before we move forward to Worm?
I mean, just definitely that we're going to be out touring as soon as we possibly can. And once I get past Worm and they get past some of their other bands and endeavors, we're definitely going to be bringing back full force on King Conquer. So definitely be looking out for that.
That's what I like to hear. So let's move forward to Worm, and let's take a listen to Sluglord from their EP titled ST. So, Mr. Producer, please cue up clip 2. there you have it. It's definitely a little bit different than King Conquer, but still metal nonetheless. So Derick, Derick, tell us about Worm. How did the band get started, and how has the response been to the music?
All right, so yeah, it was actually I was touring with King Conquer, and it's some good friends of mine that were just in the local scene from where I'm from. So King Conquer's a little bit weird. We all kind of live in different states. I live in South Carolina. The rest of the band lives in Florida, and one of the members lives in Colorado. But anyway, so the band started while I was actually on tour with a different guitar player, and it was the guitar player and the drummer at the current time, and it's just going to be a drum and bass thing completely with vocals. I mean, just like real heavy and bass only, and then it just kind of evolved, and then they got more members, and then I came home from one tour, and heard about the band and stuff locally, and I wanted to go check them out, and heard them, and I seen it, and blew me away. I was like, oh my god, it's insane. It was just heavy wall of noise, I was just like, wow, this is nuts. And so they still had their guitar player there, so I was just like, sweet, these guys are cool. And then but give it about a month later, they hit me up and they said that the guitar player had to leave, and that they needed somebody to play for them, and I was just like, I'm down instantly. I was just like, let's do this. So I jumped in, and that's kind of how that all started. And they had already had 2 releases out, and so after I joined, we started putting out some more stuff. But yeah, and then the response has been insane. It's for what it is, it's been awesome. I definitely wasn't expecting the response that we've been getting, especially show wise. Every show we play is just nuts. The crowd's nuts. The attendance is nuts. It's awesome. We play smaller level shows, but it's been pretty wild. It's fun, bringing me back to my roots for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that the pits are pretty intense during a Worm show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right on. So who are the members?
Our vocalist name's Ian Nix, and he's been in a few other bands. One of them is called the Terrigen Mist. It's like a death metal band, really awesome. It's a pretty similar like Job for a Cowboy style vocals back in that band, and is really really heavy, just death metal band. And our drummer's name is Brett Terrapin. He was in the same band, and great drummer. He's honestly, him and Ian are probably the highlights of our band, to be honest. Me and our bass player just sit over there and slap our strings as hard as we can while they show off. Our drummer is nuts. Dude can play anything. And then our vocalist, Ian, is just really, really, really creative, talented vocalist and lyricist. So. But and then our bass player's name is Eli Ackerman. He's an awesome bass player too as well. He honestly is, for those first 2 albums and for a lot of the stuff we write now, me and him write, honestly 50-50. If not, he writes more. It's great. He's really good creative writer.
Good deal. And I'm a drummer myself, and like when I tried to, I started drumming probably 4 years ago, and I wouldn't say I'm terrible, but like I've tried to play some King Conquer, and it's tough. It's tough. The skill of drumming in most I guess death metal and death metal bands today is just so incredible. Just as with Worm and King Conquer's, tough stuff to play. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I couldn't begin to try. I can barely do a few little beats on the drums, and every time I try to play anything metal, it's just I seriously don't understand it. So yeah, it blows my mind, man.
Indeed.
I'm just glad there's humans capable of doing it, so they can play to my riffs.
Yep, exactly. So what are the future plans for Worm? Are you guys planning on releasing a new EP or album soon?
Yeah, actually, we are releasing a new EP. No title for it yet, anything like that. It's still pretty early stages right now. It's gonna be 8-song EP. Might have a few more tracks, but that's just how many full songs will be on it. We're trying to get it out before the end of the year. We're definitely gonna do some scoping around with it and stuff first, but and then we're also planning on doing 2 tours this year. One of them's a little smaller, and then one of them will be April, be most of April. And that's going to be with a band called Piston. And then we're going out again in October, and it's going to be just about a week-long thing, and we're heading out to the Southwest Terror Fest. So we're going out to play that, and so that'll be really, really fun. We're all super excited about that one.
Good deal. Right on. That's good to hear. Since you guys are independent now, I know I'm pretty sure King Conquer came through. Went to Chicago at one point, and there used to be. I'll kind of just go into a little digression here, but there used to be a really good theater for metal shows here in Bloomington Normal, and there for one summer there was probably pretty much 2 shows a week of big bands coming there, and then obviously the insurance jumped down their fucking throats whenever people were getting hurt. So now they don't have shows there. So if I want to go to a metal show, I have to go to Chicago. But you guys should look into if you're considering coming through Illinois at any point with King Conquer or Worm. There's a metal bar called the Brass Rail in Peoria, and they have a lot of metal bands that come through there. So that's just an option. Just an option.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've actually played there. That's pretty crazy. You said that. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, we played there. I say we've played there twice now. But I know for a fact we played there once, and it was on a tour we did with the band Wretched, and it was just us and Wretched, and I know for a fact we played it in Peoria, Illinois, and it was is it owned by a guy named Derick?
Yeah, Derick.
Derek.
Derick.
We did.
Big tatted up guy. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we've played there, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be back there, man, for sure. So.
Oh yeah, damn, I'm kind of pissed I missed that.
Yeah, it was definitely a while ago. I can't even honestly remember when the Wretched King Conquer tour was. I'd say maybe even like 2012. I'm not positive,
that
but
might have been before I knew about you then.
Exactly, it was a while ago. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. All right. So I guess I've got one final question here for you to kind of tie this back into Libertarian Tech Radio. But so any final thoughts that you want to leave listeners with on Worm?
Oh man, just basically if you guys get a chance, just go to our Bandcamp, which is Worm Grind. It's WVRM GRIND Bandcamp.com, and just check out the tunes. I mean, all our music's on there for free. Every single thing we have is on there for free. So if you get a chance, go download it.
Okay, right on. So I guess what are your thoughts on the current political climate?
Oh man, honestly, I've been so engulfed in music the last year and a half that I've tried as hard as I can to get as much out of politics as I possibly can in the best way possible, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. You're in like 3 bands, so I can understand if you don't have time for it.
But no, I mean, I definitely still I keep an eye from afar, and I've been doing as much as I can to kind of live on my own, you know. I mean, always growing awesome gardens, things like that. I've always just been about being about me and then being about yourself, and so I've just been practicing that as much as I can while doing my music and just trying to stay, you know, as focused on that as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, the world is fucking nuts, man, and that's really as much as I can say to sum it up, and just fucking stay as free as possible.
Yeah,
that's really it. I mean, and just like if you don't know how to grow your own food or live on your own, learn pretty quick, figure it out, man, because it's one of the best choices you'll make. Promise.
Indeed. And this is the direct action series, and you are practicing direct action with self-sufficiency. That's awesome to hear. But we are coming up to this break. Derick, thank you so much for joining us. It was definitely a fun conversation. We'll definitely have to have you on again. Yeah,
it's been great, man. I really appreciate it.
Okay, not a problem. Are there any links you'd like to leave with the listeners before I let you go?
No, I mean, just Facebook, both bands, and you know, just fucking everybody have a good night, and thanks for checking us out.
Not a problem. And I'll put those links in the show description. So thanks, Derick. You have a great rest of your evening.
Appreciate it, guys. Later.
See ya. Okay, and there you have it, Derick.
Run back, I stand. I'm not afraid to leave.